to find my way back is to use all these mind teasers. It helps to keep me sharp when I'm in the thick of a jungle ridden with predators that are trying to get me from every angle.
He's doing Sudokus, crossword puzzles, and mind teasers.
Let me tell you what, if you could do one of these little crossword things, if you could do it, you can read. And if there's one thing that we know is if you can read, we can kill it.
If we can read, we can
That's
do
right.
it.
If we can, I haven't learned how to read yet.
Illiterate people are
I
very
figured out how to
docile.
shoot this gun, though. I didn't need to read the manual.
It's easy, see.
Piece of cake. You just point this end at the bad guy, and then you just pull this part back. Easy.
Suddenly, no more bad guys.
That's right.
Not a single
It's
one.
almost like an eraser when I'm doing my crossword puzzle.
Like the mistakes never happened at all. This is a mistake. One of God's mistakes I
tell
done
you
took
what.
care of.
You're welcome, Lord.
I don't judge them. I just let God sort them out, as they say.
I'm tired. That's all I know is I'm tired, and I'm just going to let God take it from here.
Let go, let God do it. Just do it.
I'm holding
Just do it. He's like a bumper sticker. He's like a middle-aged white mom's bumper on her car.
Let me tell you what, I tell the kids every time I see them that if you want to talk to God, you call him on the phone or you pray in a church. But if you want to see him, keep texting while you drive.
Vaguely veiled threats, thinly veiled vague threats by Jesse Ventura. This is why he was elected as an official, like a state official, because people are scared of that.
God damn it, I'm good at reading words and having big muscles. Okay, I can't remember them all sometimes, but that's what the teleprompter's for.
I miss him. He needs to get back out in the public eye again.
Listen, I live off the grid.
He likes his solitude.
You're not going to find me anywhere these days. I'm too busy doing what I need to do for my life. And that is
keeping the world safe.
I'm trying to eat 44,000 calories a week. That way I can keep the bulk right there it is. I don't want to go the way of Schwarzenegger.
That's actually probably an accurate amount of calories it takes for a man his size, even during the week. That's pretty good. That's some pretty good nutritional math you're doing there.
Let me tell you what, all my crossword puzzles are numbers.
They call it a Sudoku. I don't know. I thought we beat the Japs in World War II.
I'll tell you what, they don't stand a chance.
Not after all these puzzles I've been solving, all these brain teasers I solved. I know your playbook now. I know the game plan.
There's not a single person who could ever have a single hope to ever be able to outsmart me.
You ever seen Star Wars: A New Hope?
Let me tell you.
Forget about it.
You can
it's all
forget about
J.J. Abrams
all
now.
those movies.
That's all you get is the J.J. Abrams abominations.
It's not going to stand a chance.
You get to watch your heroes die.
You got one choice, and that's to die.
Just what movie you want to do it.
What's a 3-letter word for die? You already figured it out. That's right, it's dead. D-E-D.
How did you didn't watch those new Star Wars movies, did you?
Yeah, I saw them all.
Mm-hmm.
How did Leia die? Was it like a broken heart or some bullshit?
I think she froze out of space.
No, she came back she used the Force for the first time in the whole series. Everyone was pissed off because it was like, why the fuck is she doing that now?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I mean, not to say that like not everybody can. Who knows?
She was saving it.
Who knows?
She was saving it. That's why.
Disney's trying to scrap the whole universe, like that extended one that J.J. Abrams did. They're trying to like retcon it all. Didn't we talk about this back when Chris was here? They're going back and they're trying to like they're not scrubbing it, but they're going in a whole different direction now.
Oh well, that I believe.
They're basically like not considering it canon anymore. they're gonna get fucking Harrison Ford back in there for another round. One more go around the sun. Come on, Harrison, hold out.
Fuck out of my universe.
He's like, I think he's reaching that age where now he's like so old that he's like, you know what? I'll just do this stuff now.
Whatever you want me to do.
He was hesitant. He was grumpy and you know.
Oh, he's still grumpy.
Oh, he's a grump.
He's not. That's not changing.
He's not a gregarious man, or enigmatic.
Well,
as they put it.
or any of those words.
None of these words that are 3 syllables is he any of them.
He doesn't have time for that many
He's
syllables.
angry, grumpy,
No.
pissed.
Yes.
No.
Money.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Action. Cut.
God, I didn't say action.
Ouch.
That is what happened when he joined Star Wars. He broke his fucking leg. Action. Ow. Well,
Lunch. Nap.
you just work around Harrison Ford. You don't, like, when you hire him for production, he
given.
calls the shots.
It's a given. You don't have any chance. You're not
You
going to.
fit into his world.
You can have as many Wranglers as you want.
You can have Chris Pratt putting his hands out, trying with the Velociraptor, the suits, the Velociraptor whisperers. No, you mean to tell me? And I haven't even watched this bullshit. I only saw the Jurassic World first one.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a gratuitous amount of Chris Pratt holding his hands out,
Yes.
acting like he's dominant. That is such a besmirchment of that one, the dude, I can't remember his name. He's from the first movie.
Mhm.
He's like he's like the British guy, the British hunter guy, who says like clever girl.
Oh, yeah,
like he's
yeah.
That guy was like the raptor expert. He was like a hunting expert.
Yeah.
That guy did not. He knew exactly what he was dealing with.
Yeah.
He never stuck his hand out to go.
That's,
Woosah.
all you gotta
Come
do.
on,
All you
Raptors.
gotta do is look at those
Stay
tigers. They do it to them all the time.
Go out in the wild, do it to a bear or a lion,
Yeah.
or anything like that. If Dr. Allison was here, she would tell us that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's right. And,
And
if
she's
Dr.
been-
Oz was here, he would say, "Vote for me in November."
And I've seen Pennsylvanians crying, boo-hooing about high gas and all these sissies and boo-hoo
Have you
babies.
tried just being richer? Okay,
Just make
get
some
a
money.
TV show.
Yeah, it's easy.
Piece of cake.
Called
Then
bootstraps.
all you gotta
Pick
do.
yourself up by.
Get your own TV show. We gotta take some of these headphones off here because this is really these are cutting our
It's
volume.
like 30,000 headphones plugged in. This like headphone, like you've never seen one of those, like a throwing star essentially. It's
Yeah.
like a throwing star with all
Oh,
these
that's much
plugs. And
better. See, now-
I feel
now.
so, my voice sounds so more rich.
Because really, what it does is
I feel
it
like
just
my
cuts
voice
the
feels like
volume.
Dr. Oz. It's rich, and suddenly it really thirsts for a position of power in politics.
I feel that I'm missing something, and it's a government pension for the rest of my life.
Well, we're working on getting that for pretty much
Figure that out.
forever. But doing it with, visibility.
That's
is what
right.
What we're going to change.
I think, I was thinking about this. So we're at 294, right?
Mhm.
I think episode 300, we're just going to starting the show. And
That's probably a good idea.
we don't have to worry about the intro anymore. We're not,
Yeah.
then it'll still be, I'll put it
Yeah,
in
we'll put it in
post.
post.
But yeah, because we miss practically all the material in the beginning. So we'll
Yeah.
just start.
Just don't tell anybody that you started it, because
No, that'll be the point.
that's why there's good material in the
Right.
pre-show.
Right, because we're not worried about it.
And no one watches the pre-show, but this is where the best stuff is.
It is. It's the gold.
It's only our employees.
One of these-
But nobody
and
watches the real show.
Well,
either.
that's true. Once it's all over, we can just gather up all of this material, cut it together. It's perfect. This could be. Well, I already said it's Patreon material, but anyhow, it doesn't
It's
matter.
always Patreon material.
Always anything
Anything you're buying.
that we're not going to do that's a borderline like lucid idea.
Yeah.
Patreon content.
That's all Patreon. We're
That's
saving
it.
it.
That's how we do it.
Saving it for all our paying customers.
Yes, that's
The ones
right.
We love the
That's
most.
right. We need that.
Who is zero? There's nobody like that. Right now,
None.
'cause
None is the answer.
Tyler's gone. We love Tyler, but now we love him like normal.
That's right. We
Not
love on the
extra.
normal level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going through any jungles, at least not beyond the service area,
Right.
to retrieve him there.
We're not going to get skinned by a predator. And
Not this time. Not that
Not-
year.
not that year.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah,
fucking
let's
shit.
start this whole show
Let's
up.
get this fucking thing.
Yeah.
God damn it. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Gate, and then wait. What does that do? Did that blow your mind?
That just happened.
This corner weighing in at 180 pounds.
Darkness, everybody!
You've got a dirty, whorish mouth.
Bunch of fucking amateurs. Am I wrong? No. Am I wrong? Yeah. Okay, then.
Hail to the king, baby.
Ah, fuck it, dude. Let's go bold.
If you tell anyone about this, I'll fucking kill you. I'm kidding. We'll come back by tonight. Okay, sweetie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kickstart with Matt.
And Matt,
And here we are.
that's all.
That's it. It's just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
We can
make it if we try. Just the two of us.
You and I.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you know what I found out recently?
What's
also,
that?
by the way, this episode is sponsored by Liquid Death.
There you go, Liquid Death.
I'll explain why
At
in a
it
minute.
again, yeah.
But yeah, I learned, and this took me way too long in my life to learn this. Coolio, Coolio,
Oh, yeah, Gangsta's
R.I.P.
Paradise.
He's gone. Gangsta's Paradise.
He's dead.
Yeah, he
When
died.
did he die?
Like a couple weeks ago. We might have
Oh,
missed out on this
relatively
show.
recently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
okay.
recent.
I remember.
So R.I.P. Coolio, but not don't get all that sad about it because Gangsta's Paradise, and I'm sure most people would probably know this already,
Right.
was actually just a sampling rework of a Stevie Wonder song
Of course.
called Pastime Paradise,
Uh-huh.
which is a superior song in all ways, shapes, and forms.
And of course,
I listened
Coolio
to it.
got all bent out of shape when Weird Al did his
Right.
version.
He stole a song that he stole, and he was like, "Oh fuck it." Coolio can take his dumb, stupid hair to the grave, his little macaroni hair.
That's
whatever
right.
he's got.
Oh, it's
Uh,
that's it. It's like one of those like Play-Doh dolls that you push them down and the hair goes up.
that's exactly what he is.
That's what it is.
And he is. The world is not worse off for him.
Right.
being
It's
here. That's all I'm
we're
saying.
okay. We're like, all right.
Oh,
well,
Coolio's family doesn't listen to the show.
if you do, why are you not a Patreon supporter? You got the fucking money.
We know you got that Gangsta's Paradise money. Jesus, and we
We
know
know
it's still
you
getting
didn't.
played.
You did not settle out of court with Weird Al, so we know you've got the
No.
money. The money is there.
The money is there. Why isn't it in our pockets? If you're that sad about your poor son,
Father, whatever he is.
relative, brother, whatever, however it's related to
Whatever
you.
that Play-Doh haired baby was to you.
And then he had like the shortest little pop of a career when you think about the
Yeah, of
whole
course.
grand scheme of
That's
it
why I
all.
had to take him to court and all that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't have anything else.
Tapped it all out.
That's it.
It's
Well,
hard to be in a Gangsta's Paradise.
It's
because,
tough. It's tough in the paradise.
You know, we
Yeah,
spend most of our lives here.
that's true.
And Weird Al by the way, Weird Al's song was superior. He
he
somehow out of 3 iterations of the same song, he had
lost.
the worst one. How is that even possible?
Because he was the middle. He was
Weird
the
Al-
middle one. That's why.
That's
It's-
middle child
That's right.
syndrome.
The middle child syndrome.
No one
It's
cares about it.
Trying to measure up to the previous and be better than the next.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm the Coolio of my family.
You're the Coolio.
It's all coming together now, and it finally makes sense to me.
There we go. Now we got it all.
That's it.
There we are. The ruling is finalized.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's you got to do what you got to do, but
Yeah, just like drink Liquid Death this week.
that's right.
And next weekend for the foreseeable few more weeks
Yeah.
until my liver counts are good.
Yes,
And not because I drink too much. Surprisingly,
that's because of all the drinking exercise, we'll call it.
yeah,
that you've done. I
my,
think
my
you're
liver's
right.
actually in. Yeah, I've worked it out to the point that
Mhm.
it's fit.
Mm-hmm.
But I have right now I have mono.
Yep.
I don't know how I got mono,
Mm-hmm.
but lo and behold, I've got it.
There you go.
Fortunately, other people in my life
Yeah.
don't have mono because they've had it already.
I'm not one of those people.
Not that. So the
So here I am hiding behind the microphone.
post-show smooches have to be put aside.
That's right.
For
We
the
can't-
next few weeks.
Yeah, we have to keep it strictly friends, strictly
That's right.
business.
Just friends. We're like that Ryan Reynolds movie where he was fat when he was in high school. He had braces.
Oh
And
yeah,
somehow now he still wants this girl who's really not interesting
right.
at all.
Well, but see, it's not about who they actually are; it's who they are in your mind.
Ah, you're right.
You're in love with the idea of them.
Mhm.
That's what
exactly
happens.
right.
It happens.
You know, so you got to see through the fat to the real person inside.
That's it. And sometimes there's a lot.
And sometimes
Sometimes you have to hack through it like a jungle.
Oh,
the
God.
rainforest.
Oh,
it's
my
like you got it. Sometimes you got to clear the way. Sometimes it's not always.
It would have been more interesting if he had fallen in love with his liposuction doctor.
Yeah.
And she sucked out all of that and was like, "Ooh, you're handsome." Just a real toxic
I'm
relationship.
going to leave my number under one of the flaps.
You're gonna have lots of extra skin, but don't worry. As you peel away that extra skin, you'll see my number is gonna be hidden right.
And you can't say you lost it either because it's tattooed on there. Don't worry, once we tuck it, it'll all cut that part off.
Yeah, we'll just cut that piece of skin right off.
I'll just give it to the next patient that I like.
Your skin becomes just a piece of paper that's being distributed amongst patients.
That's it. Well, you got to do what you got to do. It's all about minimizing your costs, and Post-it notes get expensive, especially when you keep stuffing them into people.
When a writing, not a writing utensil, but a writing material comes right into your office. Right at your lap.
Who are you to turn down the offerings of God?
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
That's exactly right. They say it, and
cut the fat off.
That's right.
We're the fat of the land. We live off of the extra skin circumference diameter of people who we fix. You can't remove the extra fat from a man's belly until you take some of the little fat out of your own eye. Is that the Bible quote?
That's exactly.
I think it's Jesus.
Yes. Jesus 90210 said
that. That was when he got reincarnated as a plastic surgeon instead of a carpenter.
Listen, you have to stay with the times, okay? Nobody gives a shit about curio tables anymore.
Yeah. We've seen that already. We got
the idea. Smith Village, they've got it taken care of.
You
okay,
get 14 of them right now.
You're Jewish, not Amish. Okay, put the furniture down.
There's 48-year-olds in a sweatshop who make that for you, lickety split.
That's right.
They deliver to your house the next day. And
all
Amazon
God's
drone
children.
and drop it down on your doorstep. That's old. That's tired, Jesus.
Yeah,
even walking on water, nobody cares because you know what? We all got pools in our backyards.
It's a piece of cake. That's it.
Easy.
In fact, we're just going to be drowning in our overwatered lawns. Okay. God bless.
God bless.
God bless, and move along.
Thrill us, Jesus. Oh yeah. What you done for me lately?
That's it. Are you going to be playing the Super Bowl or something here? Because otherwise, this is a very lackluster conversation.
When football, whenever this may be, I doubt it's ever going to be any time in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever football does start declining, viewership and sponsorship, they're gonna just announce Jesus Christ is back.
If he shows up at the game,
halftime show.
I mean, everybody's going to be kneeling, and they're just going to be like, "No, fuck the NFL.
Fuck this.
No,
not my football.
We stand."
We stand for the anthem. Meanwhile, Jesus is kneeling, and they're like, "Fuck this guy.
He's not the real Jesus. He's not the Jesus from the Bible that we whitewashed."
That's the irony of it. If Jesus was around today, he'd 100% get crucified again.
Oh my God, 100%. Well,
even worse.
It was interesting. I was reading of what the hell is it? It was some. I'm trying not to get too obscure here, but it was this Kabbalistic text that somebody wrote. They were talking about the difference between the biblical Jesus, the Roman Jesus, and the Gnostic Jesus. It was like, and the idea is that the Roman Jesus is the one that survived, essentially, like as far as history is concerned, not like within this narrative, but because obviously, but the idea is like that version of him became the prevalent version, and it's all basically about like, yep. Now you guys need to just keep on living your lives and keep on paying your taxes, and everything's going to be fine. Then we can get to heaven. Yeah, it was very interesting to see the sort of dichotomy. Well, not dichotomy because there's more than that, but trichotomy, I guess.
Quadcotomy.
Quadcotomy, yeah. And that's good, especially with that special sauce on top.
It's good to know that the victors always write the history books.
There you go. Might is right. I say it all the time.
Might is right. Mm-hmm. That's the natural order, right? I mean,
that's what Jesus told me.
Jesus, it'd be the truest thing he ever said.
That's right. There you go.
Don't turn that other cheek. Why you won't get 2 red cheeks?
Stone Cold 7-7. There you go.
And that's the bottom line. He's just chugging beers down, and Jesus is like looking on, like,
I don't know what's been going on out here, but I've been living under the bleachers for the past 25 years. And let me tell you, this place has gone to hell. All right. I want the first opportunity to get back in the ring. And if I can figure out why this goddamn square thing is called a ring, I will let you know as soon as I do.
What the fuck? I've never really even thought of that. Like, not in my adulthood. I didn't.
Jesse
Sure.
Ventura did. He
Jesse
thought about
Ventura.
it every night. He had an existential crisis before the explosions happened, and he strutted down the ramp towards the stage. And I'm talking about his campaign trail. I'm not even talking about when he was arrested.
That makes some sense because he's probably used to like crowds of people.
Oh
cheering
yeah,
him
it's
on
piece
and
of cake.
booing him.
There
too.
you go. That's right.
So he's probably.
That's all stuff I've heard before. Let me tell you
To
what.
me,
When you grow up around a convent of nuns, because my family couldn't put up with me. I broke my father's back over my knee when I was 4 years old, and that was pretty much the end of it.
When I suplexed Sister Mary Frances, she learned who was in charge in the convent.
She begged and she pleaded, but God did not answer her prayers.
It was called convex spine in the convent. It was a cage match. It was $1 million
I
ladder
took her
match.
right back to the convent. I threw her in her little bed made out of sticks, and then she had to sleep on the stone floor.
He just goes to the convent, terrorizes them, establishes dominance, and then treats that as like a religious education.
And as I walked back out into the hall, I'd shout down and say, "Is Jesus here yet? Because I'm
Come
ready
out, you
to
coward! And face me.
I know you're here somewhere. I'm going to keep
yourself.
suplexing nuns until you show yourself."
Yep, this must be God's will.
I'm doing the Lord's will. I'm just trying to help along that old second coming thing. He's gotta show up eventually.
When the second coming is harder though, because the first one's a little easier to get going. The
Yeah.
second one, it takes some time to get recharged.
The comeback is difficult because people have high expectations.
He's like Jesus' manager. Is like
I'm
Jesus
just
has a
trying to
wrestling
help.
career.
I haven't done a whole lot of public work for a while. So I figured I'd back somebody that already had an established name. I see these former presidents endorsing candidates all the time. I figured I'd give it a shot.
Man, why can't everyone, all the world powers just agree to do like a second coming of everybody? We got
It's
Muhammad,
sweeps week. It's
we got
sweeps week.
sweeps week.
Buddha's back. Muhammad's back.
Muhammad. We got Jesus.
Hammurabi's here as a wild card.
Let's just get them all, pit them against each other for world domination, and see which ones go get elected or get fought and win.
It's all about the cage match. It
That's
all
right. Put
comes
them all
up.
in a cage.
We can have a debate. None of them speak the same language. Don't worry about it.
I wonder if at least wrestling should do some kind of parody of this because
I would hope so.
I mean, they'll offend everybody.
If
It'll be great for ratings.
there's one thing we've got down, it's offending everybody.
I'm gonna tell you what. I don't know who. I'm not sure if it's a strategy or if it's a train off the tracks or a cart, gone away from its horse. But Kanye West.
Oh boy.
I don't know if it's a PR stunt.
No,
or if he is
I'm
just
tired
so
of
goddamn
people
crazy.
trying to justify all of this stupid shit that's coming out of his mouth.
What the simplest answer is that the man is crazy.
He's
narcissistic and he's literally insane.
Yeah.
And that his PR people can't keep up with him. That they're
Right.
not directing him to say like, oh, let's get more controversial.
You know goddamn well that if Rick James existed in this day and age, he'd be in the same fucking boat.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was fucking out of his mind on drugs.
Oh yeah.
Right? And of course, I don't think Rick James was quite as mentally ill as
Didn't
Kanye
he
is.
chain a woman to his radiator or
He's
something?
not. He did all kinds of shit. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, as he once said. You know,
He did all kinds of
all
illegal
kinds of things. But the idea is nobody was around to film it. Right?
Oh, right.
And that's the
And
reason why all the crazy
There
shit
was no social media.
went
Social
under the
media
radar.
is like it's like the coffin nail
Yeah.
for so many people.
Oh yeah.
Look at all these people. Look at all these careers that have been destroyed because people let the world know their
Yeah.
true feelings.
Well-
and sometimes they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like when you find out a person's a piece of shit, it's pretty. I mean, especially on the world stage, when they go stand up. I mean, I just don't
Yeah.
understand the mindset here. Kanye West stands up in front of everybody and
Mhm.
starts saying that. Oh my God, the anti-Semitic Jewish. I was looking it up today because I was kind of trying to inform myself a little bit.
Right,
more.
right.
He's got these very. He says he can't be racist
Mhm.
or anti-Semitic because he's a Jew. Because the black. This is a whole.
Oh,
other
yes,
sub-movement
I
going
I
on
know
here.
exactly what you're talking about. It's
That black people are the Jews that they
deafening.
think,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, so like, yeah, like the complexion of the people in the Middle East was not white.
Right, but that's not the same thing.
But I'm pretty sure if you trace your lineage back, you probably aren't Jewish. Also, it's all of it's he's perpetuating
Mhm.
all of the really negative,
Mhm.
like demeaning and terrible stereotypes.
Yeah.
For Jewish people,
Right.
that they have an agenda,
Mhm.
that they're hoarding all of the
Mhm.
power and all of
Mhm.
the money, and we're like, why the Jewish people are just constantly the target.
Of course.
And like, people just have, I don't know why the groups have this mentality like, how dare they get successful?
Right.
How dare they be okay,
Right.
well off financially?
Yeah.
And like, so what if like you can make jokes that different cultures are like, there's different values in different cultures, right?
Mhm.
That are like perpetuated in their own cultures.
Right.
Different, clearly, like, we come from Italian families.
Yeah.
Family is said to be the most, the top priority.
Right, of course.
Not always practiced, but it's
No,
it's the tenet.
yes.
And with like Jewish people, there might be some culture. I don't know personally. I don't know enough
Well, listen,
about it.
all-
There might be some culture of like frugality, or maybe just like financial responsibility.
Yeah, surprise.
What's wrong with that?
Like, and all you have to do is the next time that there is a nice sized piece of property and maybe a house
Mhm.
that goes up for auction, okay, in the middle of the country, go there and watch how many Amish people show up with hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash and duffel bags to give to the fucking auctioneers so that they win the auction.
Are they like
It
drug mules or
Fucking
something?
happens all the time. No, what they
Is it
do
like a mafia?
is they pool all their money
Yeah.
and then they go and buy these pieces of property and then they get paid back over the duration of the
So
property.
they are a mafia. like a
Basically,
cult.
yes, yeah,
Like a cult
essentially, yeah,
mafia.
yeah. But yeah, it's
The Amish people-
it's everywhere.
If Kanye was ragging on Amish people,
Right.
though, I'd 100% be like, I'm on board with him now.
Well, then he would be picking a fight with people who don't even know he's talking about.
But those people, the Amish people,
I've had enough of the deaf. Okay, I'm going to go on every radio show I can find and let everybody know my thoughts. I'm tired of the deaf. They're coming in. They're taking all our spots, using up all the good headphones. So
How
it's
dare they. And they can't even listen to my music and
And
see
they
how
can't
brilliant
even
I
how
am.
brilliant I am. They have no
I'm
idea.
so genius, they
Yeah.
can't even see it.
It's their own fault too. It's their own fault. They made an arrangement with God. Maybe in a past life they were listening to too much heavy metal music, and that was it. That was it. They
Back in
listened.
the Middle Ages.
That's right. Back in the Middle Ages,
Which was just the sounds of metal clashing each other like in a war.
I wasn't getting specific about it. You said that. I never said that. You said.
I don't think he ever said that. I think you said that, Matt. I'm pretty sure that Jesse Ventura never actually said that. I can't find it.
I know. I have to
Can't
go.
find
I
it.
have to. I'm going to go back and listen to those goddamn things because I am 100% positive that he said that. Not I didn't say that. He said that.
Either way, it's a win. If you
Either
can
way.
find it, it's a win.
That's right.
If you
It's
can't,
one way or the other,
perfect.
it's victory. So that's all that matters.
Kanye West, like he's off his rocker. He lost his sponsorships. I saw that. today. It took him long enough. This was 2 weeks ago.
I know,
He
my
said
God.
this shit. So I wouldn't be if I was a conscientious person as far as like the companies. Not that companies care about anything, but the bottom
Of
line.
course. Well, and that's
they
why
don't.
they're
They
dumping them,
Fucking
yeah.
don't.
They're like, we're going to let the dust settle and make sure everybody's still pissed off at him before we drop him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we spent a lot of money on this and want to make sure we're not wasting it.
Yeah.
Because that's really all that matters. Oh, we're gonna lose more people than it will cost for us to keep him.
Mhm.
Then goodbye.
There we are. That's
It's a
all it
business
takes.
decision.
See you later.
But I wouldn't. I mean, overall, honestly, if they kept him on, people are still gonna buy like Adidas. I mean, they might start.
Yeah.
They might start trying to like.
Unless they have
Make a
his fucking
movement.
face on the toes, nobody gives a shit. They're not like, oh wait, these are Kanye shoes.
All that'll happen is they'll get cheaper because they'll be less
Yeah,
desirable, and then
that's it.
more people will buy
There
them.
you
And
go.
then guess what? Now you're in a different market.
That's right.
Like-
and it's called
like,
India.
We don't have we don't have principles here.
Yeah.
We don't operate with principles. These big companies will win no matter what.
That's right.
They're only doing it to appease
all
and
you
to
gotta
keep
do.
their margins this big instead of that
Mhm,
big. That's it.
mhm,
That's
mhm.
it.
That's all it is.
So Kanye West over here, I don't know, man. There's no way you can really make a statement as far as a consumer goes or a person. The only way
What
you
do
can
you
do it
mean?
is just never buy anything corporate. Like never
Oh.
buy anything from.
Yeah, but do you really think that they're like up in the rafters, like watching you with binoculars? Like, wait, they're passing by the Adidas. They're going straight for the Filas. One of those fucking Fila shoes.
Feelers, baby.
They're gonna make a comeback. I can feel it.
They're probably just owned by like Adidas.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
They're just an offshoot. They can tap into the poor market.
Gary, the janitor, he gives.
A lot of people get.
A lot of people give.
I like that skip. The longer I
Yeah,
ruminate.
Yeah,
on it.
it is. It's good.
Oh.
It just gets stranger and scarier. That's good.
So,
That's what you
so
want.
you're saying they're not spying on me, but not that they care personally, but like
Right.
it's just not going to affect. I'm saying like as far as a person goes, you
Yeah.
have to just swallow this shit, right? You can't
Well,
because
yeah.
if you try to make a stand, it's so meaningless,
Right.
and
Right.
it's
What
just
power
for
do you have?
it's just for you, like your conscience.
Mhm.
So-
Right, that's true. It is. It is. It's just a
guess
matter of wherever your
do what
moral
you can
compass
stomach.
guides you. Yeah, but then again, we do live in fucking America, in which
Mhm.
everything it lasts for maybe a month,
Mhm.
and then after
Oh, we
that,
forgot
like,
about.
and never mind.
People don't even. I forget even that there's a war going on in Russia. and
What
Ukraine.
war?
Yeah, huh?
You mean the war against Adidas?
Oh, like so long ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fighting a new war now.
That's right.
It's a war against
it's-
anti-Semitism.
That's right. It's against Chinese
Kanye.
footwear. Okay.
When I saw that Kanye West had been interviewed by Tucker Carlson,
Yeah.
I started watching about 2 minutes the setup of Tucker Carlson leading into it,
Mhm.
and I got so enraged
Yeah.
because the fact that he's blowing right past.
Are you like? Have you ever watched a Tucker Carlson
Oh.
interview and not been enraged?
No,
Because I was going to say,
I've
every
seen
time I
plenty.
see that fucking guy's face, I'm like, I'm not even going to touch this because my blood pressure is high enough. My blood pressure is high enough just trying to figure out what pair of shoes I'm going to buy at Payless, okay?
I'm already so morally conflicted. It's dangerously high. Oh my god.
Yeah. Do I want the shoes that have the fingers wrapped into the toes, or do I want the ones that are in the shoelaces? Because at least I can take them off. They're so small, they get everywhere. I need these shoes. Yeah, you got to do it.
It doesn't matter what anyone stands for
It
because
doesn't.
we're all under the thumbs. And
Yeah.
Kanye West is still gonna make money off you. Like
Of
here's
course.
the thing, he's got so much goddamn money. Like that's why I wonder, is it a PR stunt? I don't even know.
No,
Or-
no.
I don't think it's a stunt.
No.
But aren't they able to twist it into like something
They can.
favorable
Oh my
to
God!
them?
Yeah, they can wag the dog. They can make all this mean something. But he is just fucking out of his mind.
Yeah.
I was reading when Kim Kardashian was dating Pete Davidson or whatever. He was fucking on the phone with somebody and fucking talking about how he was like fucking he's like, he is fucking my wife next to a fireplace or some shit like that. Like,
Oh,
what
like it's watching.
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is
It's
this?
like,
What is
hold
going on?
on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Okay, the fire's out now.
It's just in the closet. R. Kelly's there next to him.
Yeah.
He's like, you got any underage people I can see on in this house? Where's your kids at? Where they sleep? Get out of here! Get out of here, R. Kelly!
I have 4
Fuck
cups
outta
of
here.
coffee today. I need to figure out where they're at.
Ever seen that one interview where R. Kelly's like, he starts screaming? It's like at Oprah or something like that. He's like, they're killing me! with all the persecution and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, because you're doing
Right.
awful
Sorry.
things.
Sorry.
It's
You earned
proven.
it.
It's just so funny that he would think he could elicit any sympathy from anyone.
It's not. Yeah, it really is. Well, so let's see here. I watched. So speaking of zero sympathy,
I gotta relay this joke real quick.
Go.
I saw this comedian. He was saying, he said he went to the bar and he wanted to get, he ordered a Chris Brown. He said he wanted something that wouldn't hit you until you got in the car.
there you go. It's on the record.
That's the most fucked up
There you go. The Coolio's family, if you are listening, start working on a drink too.
And if you don't
Want
want to be
Play-Doh
patrons,
come out of your head.
if you don't want to be patrons, then pay us ransom to not do a parody of another one of Coolio's songs.
Very Coolio-licious.
Oh shit.
Well, so I finally sat down and watched the new Hellraiser.
Oh, you did? I've
Yeah.
been very eagerly waiting for your opinion on this.
Well,
my nephew Andrew said he did not like it because
Okay.
he's a big fan of the first movie.
oh really?
So, yeah.
Well, we
he's
finally
a
have
big
something to talk about.
horror fan. Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew's he's huge into horror.
Well, we'll
Every year for his birthday, I give him horror movies.
Oh, very good, very good. We'll have to chat about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my I think the summarization was Hellraiser 2020, just a little prick.
Just a little.
So I wrote my review out here last week, of course, since we weren't sure what was wrong with Matt last week. So of course,
Yeah, well, it turns out, here we are with Mono for the foreseeable future.
There you go. That's it. Well, so all in all, the movie was like the Nazi party. Okay.
Oh God.
It just started showing up everywhere, and then all of a sudden, although it had great advances in technology, etc., the rest was a war crime to the franchise.
Oh my God.
But ultimately, it shot itself in the head, the bunker, anyway. So, but it's my
but not before causing
not
loads
before
of damage.
lots of problems. But the only thing that I think was redeeming about it was that it stuck to the novel or the novella a little bit better, The Hellbound Heart, because it didn't sort of put Pinhead front and center, which of course Clive Barker hates that name because it wasn't the goal and all that stuff. But
what's the name of it? What's his actual name?
Doesn't have a name.
Oh, there's no name.
Yeah, that's why people called him Pinhead.
Oh, because that's just like
They wanted to refer to the character,
it's just
but
a nickname the audience gave him.
yeah, basically.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so there was no leather hardly at all in the whole thing, and that's the first and foremost was an
atrocity.
Yeah,
Atrocity.
exactly. So, but
we know Rob Halford's not watching.
that's right. He's not going to have anything to do with it. It's Glenn Tipton's birthday today, by the way.
Happy birthday, Glenn.
That's
I
right.
hope he's got Parkinson's, right?
He's got Parkinson's, yeah, but he's still hanging in there as best he can.
Probably sounds about as good as Alex.
That's right.
Last time I saw him play.
Yeah.
Oof.
Getting a little rusty now that Neil's not around.
Yeah.
Neil
amazing.
Neil used to throw sticks at the back of his head. Get it
Keeping
together,
in time,
Alex.
That was
He's too
his
busy fighting with people and rolling down staircases.
at slight offenses and bars. He's the most jovial member of the whole group, and he's the one who's had the most physical altercations.
Right, of course he is. Yeah,
it's insane.
You know he's got because Geddy Lee just gives him that look where he's just disgusted, what the fuck is wrong with you? Alex Lifeson, on the other hand, he's like Meatloaf. He's like rough and tumble. He's going to tackle you. You're gonna be fucked.
I like the idea of
Take it out.
rough and tumble Meatloaf Alex Lifeson. That's my Halloween costume this year. It's certainly not going to be off this new Hellraiser movie,
No.
because I can't grow boobs and then also skin them and pull them apart.
That's right. Well, that's what it's. I mean, if you had enough time, unfortunately, you had mono and not some other disease that.
If only I would have had some kind of necrofasciitis.
That's right. It would have been fine.
Leaned into
Piece
it all.
of cake. Piece of cake.
Easy.
But it was cool that they kind of did there's the description of the pins and stuff like that are like little points of reflective pearls almost that they talk about in the book, and so they sort of conveyed that within the movie,
like an old lady's hairpins.
Oh yeah,
like
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the problem was the fucking human characters were so awful. They really did a kind of cool take on some of the stuff. I was so incredibly disappointed that they didn't explore the labyrinth more. But the cool thing I think they added was the idea of these different configurations of the puzzle box, and that each of them sort of takes you to different things. So that was neat.
Is it like another dimension?
What the labyrinth
exists in?
Yeah, basically, it's
puzzle
supposed to be
box.
like a parallel dimension, and that's the gateway that they sort of cross through. But
okay.
they really focused on the idea of Leviathan, like this god of the labyrinth. But they didn't. There was an opportunity for them to do more with it, and they didn't.
Is there? I think it's successful enough that they'll probably do a sequel to like flesh it out more.
Yeah,
or do you feel like that?
I hope they don't.
They've done enough of the story.
I think
that they failed because what they were trying to achieve, they just didn't.
Hitler did enough.
Yeah, Hitler did enough damage.
He's let him be dead.
And Kanye's still barking up that tree,
right.
or rather
That's
knocking
right.
on that
That's it.
grave,
Yeah,
trying to say, "Hey, I'm with you."
Desperately. Yeah.
Kanye has. There's no way he has not completely like been disowned by all of his former fans, because he's over there. He was a big supporter of Donald Trump, and now he's like going back in time to being like a freaking Nazi.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man. Now I still hear people. I hear kids talking about how he's a genius. He's still a genius. People just don't understand him.
No, there is.
Doctors understand him fine. Yeah.
Yeah, they do understand him. It's called being like having delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's fucking nuts.
I hate that. I hate hearing like I remember Dave Chappelle was in an interview and was saying like about how he was hanging out with Kanye West, and he was like he's like I do dope shit.
Yeah.
Like that was his response to something crazy.
Yeah.
And he just was really impressed by him, and I was like, that's not impressive, dude.
Right.
It's just that's like somebody who's got a ego problem.
Yeah.
Trust me, having grown up around somebody with an ego problem, I can tell you that guy's got problems.
You can smell him.
I can smell him from a mile away. So this Leviathan thing was it shown? Is it like described well in the movie? What did the movie do well? That's what I'm wondering.
I enjoyed the usage of the effects that they did.
Was it grotesque and like brutal?
I will say that the initial scene right before the title comes up, right? There's like a chunk of time before they actually roll the credits, or like I'm trying to remember whether they roll the credits in the very beginning, but before it says Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
That's right, Ozzy and Lemmy. They brought him back, and they he was in the labyrinth. It was fun.
He's like, I'm fine, whatever. Pain, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah,
it's all the same to me.
Give me Jack and Coke and some cigarettes.
He's been like Lemmy's life. Lemmy basically was a Cenobite at the time he died. He had so much cocaine and Jack Daniels and nicotine in his system.
All it is. He's got it going. But they did some of that. That was pretty cool. But the initial scene there, when the hooks come out and they this guy's like suspended by chains and shit, and he's like screaming and writhing in pain, like that was fucking visceral. That part, I was like, ooh, okay, like I'm feeling something here. Maybe this might do something. And I think part of the reason why I love Hellraiser so much is for the same reason that I hate Saw 2, which is that scene where they fall in the hypodermic needle pit,
God,
right?
Yeah.
The visually being able to see something pierce through skin, it's the moment that the skin depresses and then gives.
Yep.
That, for whatever reason, that fucking turns my stomach. So I loved Hellraiser because they would do close-ups of all of the fucking hooks going through and shit. I was like, oh, I fucking feel this. This is great.
Yeah.
So, of course, watching all those Hellraiser movies, well, then all the horror movies that have come out since, that one, they didn't really.
I'm like a wimp, dude. When it
resistance, all that. But
in reality, like a needle, like I had my blood drawn the other day.
Sure.
To find out that I was sick. I knew I was sick, but I wanted to know why. So they took a bunch of blood draws. They were checking a bunch of stuff, so they took a bunch. I don't look at it at all.
Yeah.
If I look at it, I start getting like woozy and I start being like, like, oh god. Like, I mean, I can stand it, but it fucks me up a little bit. So now I just don't look at it and I just feel like normal.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, whatever.
As for me, it's like I look at it and my brain goes, "That's not supposed to do that."
Yeah,
it's not supposed to go in there. But it doesn't.
Bothers me.
It doesn't give me. It doesn't give me like I'm going to pass out or anything like that. It's just like no.
I get like a
No.
panic.
Right.
Thing.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm prone to that already.
Yeah. This fucking scene though in the beginning, that really set the bar, and it was just disappointment after that.
Oh, so just nothing really ever lived up to that.
And
I hate that.
The lighting was so fucking dim and dark. Like I had to go and see the shots, I guess the photos that they had taken of the different actors in their costumes, whatever, so that I could actually see what the fuck they were wearing.
Oh, man.
Because there's certain moments where they kind of push forward, where they're near the characters or whatever, but it's all so dark all the time you can barely make it out.
Darkness, put it in perspective, and I'll use The Thing because this is my favorite. But
Sure.
In The Thing, all the monsters, they wanted to. Rob Bottin, who created most of them, wanted them to be in darker light.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to kind of hide some of the imperfections or what he perceived as not being unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
So there is and I don't feel like that movie's dark though. I feel like the movie, I feel like the shadows are used appropriately.
Right.
When I watch a movie that I need to turn all the lights off in my house
Even
and turn the brightness up,
that
and
was-
I still can't fucking
No,
see
even
what's
that,
going on.
because the problem is you have to have one of those TVs where the pixels go completely off for the black sections, like True Black or whatever the fuck they call it. That's the only way you could make out half the shit in this movie.
Ugh.
It was so stupid.
I don't know
I
why
was
they
fucking with
choose
all
that.
my settings trying to get this thing so I could fucking see it, because it was layers of
Hold on,
gray.
Matt. I think we're missing something here. This movie was very successful because it tortured you.
This is. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is the right setting for this thing? I can't see what's going on. There's people screaming and yelling and running around. I
not
see
good enough. They didn't do enough.
There's shiny blurs and blood shooting everywhere. What the fuck is going on?
You're like, it's gonna get better.
Oh,
shit!
God damn it!
And then meanwhile, Doug Bradley's he's just in his chair
He's
at home, and he's
loving
like,
it.
"Don't cry. It's a waste of good
Yeah,
suffering."
that's right. He apparently he thought that they did okay with the whole thing. That was
He approved of it.
that was the consensus apparently. Something is okay. So right now we just switched the StreamYard account over which is what we do the live broadcast with. Something's all fucked up with all this, because now all of a sudden I've got 20 comments from Juan and Deirdre and Allison. They're
They
all
all
here,
chimed in at the
and
same
now
time.
nobody is watching. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So if you guys I know you guys are watching live. I know you're out there somewhere, but I can't see. I don't know what the fuck is going on. We'll figure that out later. But yeah, the Hellraiser thing was, you can watch it once and go through the adventure just so that you have it, in your memory, whatever. But I don't think it's going to have any lasting power.
Compared to the original Hellraiser movie from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same basic story? Is it like the girl and Uncle Frank and all that
No.
stuff, or is it something completely different?
No,
Or was-
completely different.
Which is the Clive Barker, the truer source material?
Well, to
Which of the two?
the book, the remake sort of takes some of the ideas, but neither of them really follows the whole storyline.
Was the Uncle Frank stuff all crafted for the movie?
Yeah, for the most part, it was
Oh,
fleshed
really?
out in that direction.
Oh,
Yeah,
or
because
unfleshed.
essentially, that's right, yeah, deflesh.
Deflesh.
Yeah, because really Julia is supposed to be the main character of the movie,
Oh,
because she's the one that's the monster that's going around and killing all of these people to feed to this little squishy Frank.
right,
Uncle
right.
Frank, and bring him back to life.
Yeah.
And the Cenobites are just cursory characters that came around to do what they're supposed to do.
I don't know if
They're just working.
I don't know where this is in the series. And just as an aside here,
Mhm.
what's the part where these movers are putting
That's the first
boxes
one,
in the
yeah.
house and stuff
They're-
like that?
yeah, they're-
And there's the
the
bloody
counter.
mattress. And
That's at the end. Yeah, at the end. That's also part of the second one, because
I think
Julia
I
gets
saw-
born from the
yeah,
mattress.
I
Yeah.
think I saw that, and that was the first thing I ever saw ever of Hellraiser. I think it was the beginning of Hellraiser 2, and I was like,
it is.
"What the fuck
Yeah, it's
is
great.
this?
That's a great
There's
scene,
something
yeah.
in the mattress that's eating people and stealing." It was so funny because it was so clear that it was taking their flesh
Mhm.
and their meat
Mhm.
essentially and using that to generate its own.
Right.
It does a lot without saying anything.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I understood that. But anyway, so Julia's more.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. Because in the first one, Frank, he was like trying to explore the outer regions of sensation, essentially, like trying to feel stuff. And that's why you see him in the beginning. That's sort of implied that he's like going around and he's like fucking all these hookers and doing drugs and all kind of stuff. Like he was like in Vietnam or whatever. There's sort of an implication of that. And then he finally gets his puzzle box, and he goes and he opens it in this attic and in this house, which is where they come. And that's pretty much where the whole movie takes place. So he's in this attic, and so he got torn apart, and all of his blood and shit went under the floorboards, that's why he gets brought back through that. And then Julia is the same sort of thing, that she gets killed at the end of the first one. She's on this mattress, and she's like all skinned, and she's laying out like this, and like electricity's going all over, or whatever. And that's why she comes back from the mattress in the second. Like wherever your body got torn apart, if all that blood gets poured into it, then you come back, I guess.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that scene with Uncle Frank getting rebuilt, which was like a reverse shot.
Yeah,
of him,
fucking great.
melting.
Like,
That's so cool.
like this, like little baby screams.
Little baby
It's great. It's great. I love it. All those little sloppy little bones like moving around all weird. It's great.
That's one of the best. It's one of the most memorable.
That's why I love that series so much. That's why I love those fucking movies, because the practical effects that they do, not to harp on the song of all practical effects are better, because of course
practical
they are, but we know that already. But just the way that they utilized it, and they just basically they made this model, and then they melted it with a bunch of hair dryers, and then it's what they did. They melted it with a bunch of hair dryers, and then just played it in reverse. But it's just so fucking great the way they cut it together to have this creature like oozing up from the floorboards.
Yeah.
It's genius. It really is.
It's pretty smart. I actually, based on your on the text you sent us, we watched Critters. Rewatched it since we were kids last night. And there's a that gimmick is in these, like the Critters that can be summed up pretty easily. Some little farmhouse family ends up getting in over their heads with these little space hairballs.
Yes.
And there's these two bounty hunters that are sent out to go catch them. So there's the bounty hunters going after they're called Krites, because nobody had any creative bone in their body.
That's right.
Who did the
Take some
naming.
letters out.
I mean, so overall, the movie was actually a lot better than I remembered it.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually not that bad.
Well, and see, that's
so funny to say that, because I thought it was trash,
Mhm.
but it's actually, at least the first Critters that I watched,
Right.
wasn't that bad. They were utilizing like cinematography to relay some of the like scarier parts instead of relying super on like the puppets.
Right.
And the puppets are kind of silly. It has just enough cheese that it's fun,
That's
not too
it.
much that you're like getting too full of it.
And
it's not bad.
So there's this documentary series called In Search of Darkness.
Yeah, you were telling me about
that's
this.
on there too. The first two of them are out. The third one's getting ready to come out.
Mhm.
They did a really good job of talking about the history of horror and how during the 80s, especially the beginning of the 80s, that horror was basically like a fringe market, where it was like horror was like the bottom of the barrel. Like there was no significant horror, aside from like Universal Monsters and shit like that.
Yeah, it had kind of like languished after that classic Monsters thing.
Right. And so that's the reason why we have the approach that we do to a lot of horror. And I think that flavoring is really what makes it so great, because you're dealing with these relatively low budgets, and they're approaching it with limited ability because we don't have technology, like we do today.
Mhm.
But now people are like, oh, we want to make a horror movie because everybody loves horror movies. And so all the stupid tropes get pulled into those things, and that creates the problem. And that's where you have, like, they show you the fucking monster in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like the whole point is the build to it. And like some of the greatest movies, like Babadook's a good example of that.
Mhm.
Like, you don't see the fucking thing until the very end of the movie.
Babadook pulls it off so much better than, like, say, Sinister.
Right.
Was it Sinister that I'm thinking of? With Ethan Hawke? Bagul or whatever.
Yeah.
That was so fucking strong. They even
Mhm.
used this weird sound, like this soundtrack that was these tones that makes a human being uncomfortable.
Right.
It was like just underneath,
Droning.
just enough.
Yeah.
That you do feel uneasy.
And they took that from Pumpkinhead, because every time Pumpkinhead shows up on the screen, there's cicadas in the background.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's like that psychological terror that they're fucking
Right.
with.
That's it. The audioscape.
It's like so strong,
Mhm.
right? Then since it just shits the bed when they finally show him. I was like, don't ever show him.
Right.
Him appearing in places is enough. It's
Mhm.
like plenty. It's very effective.
Yeah.
But with Babadook, it actually was even better when they should, because the way they did, I don't know, to me, the way they did his actual portrayal was like it never showed too much, and it didn't make him look weaker
Right.
by showing him. They made him even scarier because they never showed you his full form.
Exactly.
And
That
I was
was
like,
it.
oh god, what the fuck
you
is
see all
this
this
thing?
weird shit that's always this
And
cartoon,
it's
this
like a
little
mask
drawing,
on his face.
and then all of a sudden it's like, what? Wait. Yeah.
It just gets worse. And
Yeah.
like that's a great movie.
It is.
As far as like treating the monster. And then, the thing was shat on back in its day. But I think like that's a unique one where you need to see how horrific the consequence
Right.
of being possessed by this creature is.
Yeah.
Because it creates this sense of urgency and fear. Like, oh no, you like that. I don't want that to happen to me.
Exactly.
That's the body horror like subgenre. But
It's-
that's utilized. If you want to, I don't know that because the monster's inside,
Mhm.
and this is what it'll do to you. This
Right.
is what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically what it's saying. Just like how you need to show a slasher kill,
Right.
Because you got to know that it's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Right. You have to
that's-
set it up.
in the time it's taken since the movie came out, people have found that and appreciated it now. But yeah, showing too much, like you said, the build up.
You have to. It's the Predator thing too, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
with the original Predator,
Mhm.
you see the little heat, distortion
Yeah.
around through the whole thing. But then when you finally see the fucking thing and Arnold tears its fucking mask off and all that stuff, it's like that all builds to that point, to the climax. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's not supposed to, you see it in the first 10 minutes and then it turns into a Megazord at the end. That doesn't do it. That's not what it's about.
It's either stupidity and irreverence for the process,
Right.
or it's like this kind of like, I don't know, this artistic choice or like this hubris to
Mhm.
think that they can just break all the rules and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
No, people are all the same. We all like that arc.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There's a reason that it's done over and over and over forever, and it always will. We've been around for centuries. You think you're
Yeah.
going to show me something new?
Right.
Like no one's going to like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's probably a lot of it is stupidity. rather
Well,
than
it's
hubris.
because of the, I think, studio direction where they want, everybody's got a
Yeah.
shorter and shorter attention span.
Too many cooks too.
And, well, that certainly plays a huge role in it too. But I think it's just the idea of everything has gotten so fast,
Yeah.
and the attention spans are getting shorter and shorter, so they have to keep re-engaging with people over and over
Yeah,
and over again.
They're gonna look away at their phones.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
They're just gonna turn it off or whatever. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That makes some
And
sense.
so that's the reason why they keep showing all the stuff. So the build isn't there. And granted, I mean, I remember when I was a kid and I watched fucking stuff from the 50s and I was like, this is so boring. They just keep talking.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's the same thing.
I got a telegram out there.
Yeah, right.
The man says,
It's like, where's the
I don't know in
action?
his face.
Right? Yeah. It's like,
What?
Jesus.
What does this have to do with plants?
But yeah.
I thought this was a plant
That's
horror
what
movie.
you thought. That's what you thought.
You had to wait 4 hours for the monster to grow out of its pot.
Yeah, it's real time. It's real time. Yeah. That's the kicker. But, yeah.
Sometimes though, I've seen enough of those older movies. There are some actually good
Oh my
ones.
God, yeah.
If you like, even like old Twilight Zone episodes can be really
Absolutely.
tight.
I just got they're on, of course, they're on the Plex server. Both versions of Twilight Zone, the new one and the old one. But there's this one where there's this guy running around in this empty town, and he's just like shouting for people, and he keeps seeing these weird things, and he doesn't know who he is, and he starts to kind of realize that he was in the military. And so it's just basically the whole episode is just him running around this town trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, why there's nobody there, and who he is. And at the very end, you find out that the whole time he was in this like chamber, and they were subjecting him to these like experiments to see if he could stand. I don't know if he was supposed to be in a submarine or go into space, but something basically being enclosed by himself for a long period of time.
Oh
The
my
whole thing was
God.
just like a military experiment.
It was all just like a sensory deprivation.
Yeah, it's
hallucination.
So there's some really like, and I've been going back and watching the old Star Trek episodes,
Mhm.
And I just watched Space Seed today, which is the one that Khan shows up in the first time
Oh, okay.
before the movie and all that.
Mhm.
But going back and through, I'm watching the remastered version, so the intercuts when they show like the outside of buildings, like they have modern computer generated graphics of like planets and all kinds of shit. So it's updated from the original
Oh,
airing.
really?
But yeah, but all of the parts where the characters are, of course, that's all still old footage. So it really gives it a little bit more of a modern feel rather than that, sort of antiquated low budget that they had to work
I
with.
think that's fair to do. I think it's fair.
And I'm telling you, like I thoroughly have been enjoying watching these episodes. And the best part is it's the same thing with Twilight Zone. Watching them and being like, oh, that's just like this fucking movie that came out in the 80s, or like that's that idea that got carried forward into this movie. So it's cool to see the influences, that it had on later film and all of that. So it really, it's worth it if you can, get into that headspace. But I just think that it's a challenge to navigate these days with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, it does become a little sad as we're kind of revolving around this theme here that science fiction and horror are really the groundbreaking genres. This is why I tend to gravitate towards them myself, because they tackle certain subjects that other genres won't.
Yeah, because they go under the radar. That's why they're not as regulated, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So it's cool that it's open and you're gonna end up getting some shitty rolls of the dice.
Yeah.
But I still think I think it's still a venue for a lot of cool creative ideas.
Mhm.
Every now and then I'll see something in horror or sci-fi and I'm like, whoa, that's fucking great. That blows my mind.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I love being surprised. I feel like it's rarer the older I get, of course.
Sure.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's still a lot of hope though for those genres.
Yeah, there's always possibility for things to go in new directions. And I think it's just a matter of, because it used to be about what can you show the audience.
Yeah.
It'd be like, oh my God, I never saw that before. Or how did they pull that off? That kind
There's
of
a speeding train coming right at us, like Nickelodeon.
Right, we got it. It's more about how you can like immerse the audience, I think.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Creating
That's what people miss.
Like
I think.
thinning out the line between your engagement into something unreal and your presence where you are now.
Yeah.
Like you get those moments if you're watching in a theater or at home where like you get so uncomfortable that you kind of forget that you're like, just using discomfort as like one of those themes, or sometimes you feel so happy or whatever. Mm-hmm. You feel something so strongly that you kind of forget about your surroundings. You just like escape almost.
Right, exactly.
I think that, in the future, I have no idea. In our lifetime, we'll probably still always have movies, but at one point or another, we may not have that experience of just watching a screen anymore. It may be so interactive or immersive, trying to be more fooling your mind.
They've been trying 3D for a long time.
That's true. Jaws 3D.
Even back before then, I was watching. I'm telling you, this documentary, this In Search of Darkness, is really worth watching. Keith David's all over the place.
That's all you got to tell.
He's John Carpenter's in it. There's plenty of names that you recognize. People that and they're talking about. They go through a bunch of these sort of landmark movies and talk about their experiences of shooting them and how they made them and this thing and that thing and whatever. So it's good.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
worth checking
watching
out.
it. Man, your Plex server is loaded too, dude. I went on there and I started looking at it. I was like, and it's got them all like organized in certain ways too. I love it. I'm like,
anytime I can find alternate covers,
it's like the Library of Alexandria in that thing.
That's it. I'm going to rebuild it, and the Romans won't have a chance this time.
That's going to see
burn down my computer. That's right. That's it. Because it's backed up. It's ghosted all over the world. It's like Microsoft. It's like weird news.
Ooh, ghosty. Spooky.
All right, we've got nobody, but I know we've got people
right.
out there. I don't know what the fuck is
it's
going
probably
on.
just our StreamYard situation.
I think.
Oh yeah, whatever.
We got 2 bars now.
Yeah, for posterity, but we'll have our audio.
What's that mean?
Audio, and no one will get to see this beauty.
Oh, they'll never get to experience the beauty of the liquid death rings. Oh, see now it says Allison is watching you. Allison, now it disappeared. That's all you got to do. You just got
I think I'm honing the signal
Keep
in.
doing it.
I also just texted back something. Hold on, let me see. Okay. Yeah. I said we'll try out to finish without stream.
Yeah.
One more time.
Yeah, just for good measure.
Damn, man.
That's it. It's gonna be like the old days.
That's all right. Hey, that's fine. Back when nobody could look at us.
That's right.
It's a little easier that way.
Yeah. All righty, so the live stream is absolutely fucked. We don't know what's going on with it.
So those of you listening now,
That's right.
you're not missing anything.
That's
You're
right.
getting the full effect.
You're getting it first. You can still go back. I think you'll be able to go back and watch the video portion if you want to see the images. And trust me, it fucking breaks my heart because you're going to want to see the images for some of these weird news
Oh
stories.
man,
There's some
you got
fucking-
homework to do if you're listening.
Oh,
to
yeah.
the second day.
Yeah, you definitely do. Luckily, we split it up. So this section, the second video that's labeled episode 294 is the one that has the weird news. The first one is the beginning of the show. So it's sort of divided appropriately.
So wait, is this recording? Are we gonna be able? Is this a stream?
Yeah, it basically the video it records through this program and then gets uploaded to Facebook and YouTube.
Is it currently recording?
It's recording right now. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got
So we will have this in for posterity.
Hopefully,
Future.
as long as it doesn't air out or something like that.
All right, let's do it.
We should all things considered. So, just to be thorough, just in case everything works.
I'm regretting that we just paid the bill up for the
That's
whole
right.
year. For
We're
the
canceling
streaming
it.
service.
We're canceling. That's what
I want a refund.
That's how they get you. That's how
As
they
soon
get
as you
you.
pay it up, they start fucking your whole service up because
Fuck
they
it
already
all
got the money.
They
The
fuck
end.
it all up. That's the end of it. Well, for our first story here, a home inspector in Oakland County, Michigan. Okay,
Oh, boy.
there we are. You know what that means.
Yep.
He's been convicted of aggravated indecent exposure.
Aggravated indecent exposure?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is like a whole other degree I was not aware of. I thought just
Only in
the
Michigan.
indecency of exposure. Right,
Nope.
only in Michigan. That I find
Only in Michigan.
test the limits of it.
And you get that aggravated indecent exposure after a security camera showed him masturbating with a Tickle Me Elmo doll while at a client's home.
Oh no.
Yeah.
With it, okay. Was it? No, well, I guess we'll find out.
We're gonna find out.
Was it being held, or what he was like using it as a device?
Well, as a masturbatory aid, I think.
Oh, no.
Kevin Wayne Van Leuven of Clarkston, was convicted Wednesday during a one-day trial. With nope.
I've seen enough.
Fuck this guy. But was acquitted on another charge, which was malicious destruction of property. Right, so he skated on that one.
Yeah.
Didn't quite skate on the newly invented aggravated indecent exposure, right? So,
Yeah, what you did to Elmo was unspeakable.
That's right. We don't even have it on the books yet.
We're writing this one into
That's
law.
right. That's right. You're going to be in the book that law students study for the rest of the time. Well, Van Leuven was arrested in April of 2021 while doing a home inspection in Oxford Township. He was in one of the client's bedrooms when Jada Dawson, one of the home's owners, got a notification that someone was in the nursery. Luckily, the child was not there.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I was super concerned about where this was
yes,
heading.
Yeah, I don't think we would be talking about it.
This wouldn't be some lighthearted
That's right.
news story.
So when Dotson pulled up the webcam alert, she saw Van Leuven masturbating before picking up an Elmo doll off the floor and appeared to be pleasuring himself with it.
Oh no.
I just went blank, Dotson told the local NBC affiliate. At the time, my husband was staring at me from across the room and was like, "What's wrong?" And he asked me repeatedly, and I couldn't even articulate what I was seeing. Van Leuven was still inspecting the house when Oakland County investigators arrived at the scene. He claimed that he had moved the doll to inspect an electrical outlet, but then later confessed after learning about the camera.
Yeah, this is what people will do. They will
It was
lie.
blocking the electrical outlet. I was trying to keep from a fire starting.
You want this thing inspected or
That's
not?
right. I just wanted to rub it against myself, see if the friction would start a fire.
You said you wanted a thorough inspection, and if I don't get my nut off in a house, how the hell do I know what kind of quality we're working with here?
What the hell am I going to sign the papers with?
I didn't bring a pen, did you? I got the liquid right here.
Only pen I have is a pen is. The responding officer also reported that Van Leuven admitted to placing his penis in Elmo's mouth
Oh
and
my
apologized and said he was ashamed.
You say sorry to Elmo.
It's not my mouth that you raped.
When he asked you to tickle him, this is not what he had in mind.
He didn't mean that little thing to dangle in the back of his throat.
He's gonna have sore tonsils for weeks because of you. And Elmo's face in this picture, by the way,
Yeah.
is fantastic.
I know. I
this
searched. I
context-
scoured the internet for it.
He looks
He's happy, and
so
all the rest of them.
something about just the way the eyes are sitting.
Yeah, they're slightly down, and the mouth is not upturned enough to be happy.
He looks like horrified.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
And then the fact that there's like some vague hands around his neck.
Yep, all in the middle of the act.
Oh,
So
God.
you don't think anything can surprise you, and yet the disgusting ability of some people still manages to surprise me on this, said Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard. So although indecent exposure is a misdemeanor in Michigan, he faces up to 2 years in prison and a $2,000 fine when he's sentenced in December.
Have the motherfucking decency to jerk off in the bathroom.
Come
okay?
on, man.
I
Yeah.
mean, and it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
Like that. Well, you know, we already discussed where it came from.
That's
That's just how it goes out there, I guess.
That's what happens when you should have.
I'll never pay for another home inspection again. I'll tell you that much.
Should have got that hair club for men. That's it. Well, to continue, what is going to eventually probably just become a whole segment of the show.
All right.
A North Carolina
Oh,
highway
God.
was partially closed on Tuesday morning when a crashed truck spilled 22,000 pounds of live fish onto the roadway.
This has the distinction of having live food
It
products.
was flopping all over. The best part was
It looks like an ocean, like an active ocean.
it's got to sound like a herd of cattle going by, all flopping on the asphalt. And the best part was, okay, so this all happened like in the evening, almost at nighttime, right?
Yeah.
And oh no, it actually was really early in the morning. That's what it was. Yeah, because it was like 5:45 a.m. So this all happened really early in the morning, and there were several images here. This was relatively, I guess, close to when the crash happened.
Yeah.
But afterwards, there was these further out shots, right, that were panned out a little bit, and there was just blood and guts.
Oh my God,
just red carnage all over the road.
There's like, I already see a bunch of casualties in this picture. There's a bunch of headless,
Yeah.
headless fish and just fish heads. Like some of them literally got snapped in half like
It's
asparagus.
It's whatever they had to do. Well, the North Carolina Department of Transportation said that the truck overturned at 5:45 a.m. on Tuesday on Interstate 95 near the exit 61. The tractor trailer lost its load of 22,000 pounds of live catfish on the northbound lane, sparking
And
an hours long cleanup operation.
Somehow this lost load was less offensive than the previous one we just described. And it smelled like fish.
And unfortunately, there were no mouths involved. So the driver was examined at the scene by emergency medical services and was found to be uninjured. So there you go. At least
There's this underlying weird subtext theme that we're not directly addressing.
Right.
From this recurring topic of weird news, right?
Mhm.
This recurring subject matter. It's that we as a country or a society, we need to reevaluate how we're dealing with truck drivers
And
because
transportation.
yeah, because like there's so many of these accidents that
Mhm.
routinely happen that we have several of them
This
a week.
this has been on a weekly basis.
This is consistent. We have to do something in this country. This is part of our platform when
That's
Matt run for office.
That's right.
We have to do something in this country about the conditions or maybe the incentives or something that they're doing with the truck drivers
Right.
because they either have like an incentive to overwork themselves
Mhm.
or perhaps like there's not enough regulation as far as like either hiring truck
We gotta
drivers.
stop paying them in
or-
amphetamines. You crash
Can't give 'em meth.
eventually.
You can't give them meth.
You
I mean, they
can't.
stay
The
up
meth
all night,
only
but,
works so long. It
That's
only
right.
works for so many miles.
and it ends up going. They go, you know, they take a dip.
And that's exactly right.
That's
You
how
have
end
to
up with
recover.
fish all over the road.
And that's how this sort of thing happens. We have to make a change. The change
There's not
has to
enough
start.
Aladins in the whole
That's
world
that's
to pick up all this free-for-all fish happening on the roads.
Nope, not at all.
Slimy guts and shit everywhere.
That's right.
Can you imagine how absolutely god awful it smells to go through there? There was, I don't know where this was. I think we were out in the Poconos or something. There was like a skunk smell, and I
Mhm.
could smell it for miles.
Oh
And I was
yeah,
like,
man.
that was
It's
one skunk.
Yep.
One skunk.
Yep.
And I was like, I know it wasn't even nearby because
Right.
it's a whole different smell.
Right.
This is 22,000 pounds of fish.
And listen, as somebody who's driven 95 going through North Carolina many times, you know, going down to Florida and everything, there's nothing around the block to smell. So this shit's wafting
Yeah.
through the whole fucking state.
Yeah.
This is going into
House.
Virginia. This is the whole fucking thing's just ruined, completely ruined. Yeah, it's not going to be bad. It's just utter carnage. But speaking of utter carnage, doctors in Italy shared recent details of a delicate brain surgery during which a patient remained awake and played the saxophone. I wonder if he played better. Like he's just like sounds like he's like tuning and he's like all of a sudden like
Oh, keep touching that spot.
That's it. That's right.
No, don't.
Can we connect this somehow? It's like a pinhead thing.
Let's
I
just
just watched the
let's
new
cut the end of
Hellraiser.
the scalpel off. and
Anybody
we
got a
can
hairpin? I just want to stick it in there. He's
Stick that
doing
pin right
great.
and improve this guy.
Wonderful. We're gonna put him in the next zombie movie that we got going on.
This is outshining our friend Zach. Not Zach the coolest.
Oh, others. Yeah, the other
That's
Zach. That's
Zach.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, Zach Zortman. He had a brain cancer,
Right.
and when they did his surgery, he had to sing
Mhm.
while they were doing like brain surgery on
Yeah.
him to make sure. I guess similarly to this story, it's to make sure that they don't damage parts of the brain that
Right.
they don't intend to.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of
It was
jelly.
a crapshoot down
Jelly
there.
fat. That's all. Yeah. We think we got the map,
They
but
they kind of poke around and they go, and as soon as he stops playing well, they're
Yeah,
like, oh, go the other
not
way.
that one. Not that one. Yeah, it's like
It's like a
getting
compass.
warmer. Getting warmer. No. Burning hot. Burning hot. That's not it. That's not the way we want to go. Well, Petita International Hospital in Rome said that the 35-year-old patient was identified as G.Z. He was kept awake and played a saxophone during his 9-hour surgery to remove the tumor.
Giuseppe
Gi-
Zap the G.
That's right. Giuseppe zips that saxophone. His 9-hour surgery. Luckily, he was just in time for Lost Boys 3. So
Oh, yeah.
doctors said that the musical performance allows surgeons to map the different functions of his brain as they operated. Awake surgeries make it possible to map the extreme precision during surgery. The neuronal networks that underlie the various brain functions, such as playing, speaking, moving, remembering, counting, who led this, said Dr. Christian Borgna, who led the surgery team. The goal was of awake surgery is to remove the brain tumor, such as a cavernomas located in specific areas of the brain while preserving the patient's quality of life. He said that the surgery was absolutely a success. So
yeah.
at least that's a good thing.
Nice. He's gonna have a nice big old gnarly scar.
Oh, you know it. All the way around.
And he's gonna play the saxophone better because they wired up a little bit. You know.
He's a jazz cat
Tighten him
now.
up.
He's a jazz cat. He can
Tighten
wear
him
a
up.
hat. He can wear a hat. They're not going to say it. Piece of cake. Not a problem at all.
And they did a good job with it when the hair goes back. You won't even notice it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Zach's scar, I don't even notice it really.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Just don't want to keep those fades too tight. You know, if you can't, and then it starts to show.
They really what they should do is they should cut right behind the ear, peel
Yeah.
all like
Uh-huh.
peel
Right.
all the skin right off the
Take it
whole
all
top
off.
of the head, and then do whatever you got to do.
And
Cut
you're
with
all
the bone
set. No
saw.
problem. No problemo, friend.
That recovery's got to hurt like a motherfucker.
I can imagine.
Oh my
I can
God.
imagine. Yeah. Yeah, and they got to super glue that skull back in there, I think. But we'll see. Whatever's
They use
available.
Gorilla Glue,
Gorilla
right?
Glue.
Yeah.
Just they just don't want the kind that expands into foam. You know,
Right.
that's then you get a lot of pressure.
Right, then you end up with a bigger head than you started.
That's right. Hopefully, this wasn't the surgeon who did it. A 100-year-old Ohio man who holds the Guinness World Record for being the world's oldest practicing doctor said that he has no plans to retire anytime soon. He's not actually the oldest. He's just holding the record in the picture. No, he is.
That's the guy who's awarding it to the oldest guy.
It's
The
like,
oldest guy is a dried-up piece of
I
beef
found
jerky.
this at the funeral home.
You never believe the kinds of things you find at estate sales.
Well, Dr. Howard Tucker of Cleveland was initially certified as the world's oldest practicing doctor in February of 2021 when he was 98 years and 231 days old. Now he's 100 and he continues his
Holy
full-time work.
The fuck?
I mean, this is it.
Oh my God, yeah.
His typical day lasts from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. There you go. I
9
mean,
to 6? He's working a regular shift, dude.
he is higher than the entire state of California. So that's the only way he can continue to operate. Keeps his glaucoma in
So,
check.
like, do you trust the oldest doctor?
Fuck no.
No, but see, to remain a doctor, you do have to maintain a certain level of like continued education.
Yeah, that or evade the police.
Well, either way, he's fast.
He can blend into a crowd.
He's
That's
good.
it, yeah.
He's good. You can't deny that he's good at what he does.
Maybe not the best. Well, the doctor said the doctor said he caught COVID-19 shortly after his 100th birthday
Oh
in July, but he continued to
So
teach.
his sheer doctor strength beat the shit out of it, right out of his body. He showed.
He
COVID
said,
in
I
his
figured
balls."
out that if you inject enough cocaine into your veins, COVID doesn't affect you at all. But he continued to teach his residents via Zoom while recovering. I regard this Guinness World Record as a singular honor, and I look upon it as another achievement in a long, satisfying, happy life.
I think people who want to work really hard all through their lives tend to live longer.
Yeah.
People like me who are trying to like not work,
Right.
I feel like I'm destined for the grave. Like I got like
Just
2 more
trying to-
weeks.
I'm just trying to make room for all these old fucks that want to keep going. That's all. Just trying to
You
get
can
in
do my work.
just
Here.
trying to get in the right lane. You go ahead.
You're so hungry for work. I think there's got to be some kind of like resiliency as far
Must
as
be.
people who are because
I think he's got some kind of drugs, though. I think he's got secret government drugs because the centurion, whose wife Sue is 89 years old, is still a practicing psychoanalyst, and she has no plans to retire either.
That age difference is pretty extreme.
Well,
She's
11.
89?
It's 11 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, not when you're ancient, it makes no difference.
Right, exactly.
Talk about when they got together, though.
Yeah, but they met at the funeral home.
She used to be married to the guy who's in the coffin.
That's right. She used to be married to the guy whose name is on his certificate.
They'll let you
She's
post
like, here,
anything.
you're a doctor now. So that's, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to be
I
able
guess.
to. So
keep on doing the good work of science.
there you are. So he said, gosh, no, I believe retirement is the enemy of longevity. Even in my younger years, I never once contemplated retirement. He said, when you love what you do and are still capable of doing it, why would you want to retire?
And that's a doctor's orders.
There you go. Doctor says this is exactly what the doctor ordered.
The only thing you what's this world record? The only way you can stop him is to put enough apples in his path.
That's it.
He can't cross. It's
Nothing.
like a salt barrier for demons.
That's exactly right. Not a thing. They're
Put
just gone.
apple trees in your yard to keep.
But
these
see, the
guys
problem,
away
like
from
you can see the shimmer from one of his crowns inside of his mouth.
Mhm.
Those are his fucking teeth too. He's at least got it partial though. There's no way he's got a.
There's no way that they would put new teeth in
He
like
should-
that.
Hopefully, unless his wife did it.
His wife's a part-time dentist.
I
Just
think-
hold still. I almost got it.
Going for the oldest psychoanalyst / weekend dentist.
When you have lived that long, you could go through medical school like 4 times over.
Yeah, it's a piece of
Seriously.
cake by then.
I mean-
I know all the teachers. In fact, I taught most of the teachers. It all comes back around. It's all cyclical. It's all cyclical. Well, I'll tell you what else came back around. A Massachusetts woman who released a swarm of bees on sheriff's deputies as they tried to serve an eviction notice
What
for her is facing multiple assault and battery charges. Not the bees!
Was she in here earlier when we had to kill that bee?
She must have been. She was hiding. She was on the window. She was on the roof out there. It's fucking Twilight Zone movie.
She looks like a Metal Gear Solid villain. What the fuck?
Well,
I'm not sure if they just added the extra long sleeves on this jacket for her and went ahead and
I'm like,
tied
look,
them
just
off.
stretch them out. We'll just tie them off. We'll be fine.
She's already in a prison of her own
Jeez,
design.
That's right.
She can't spit on
She
us.
can't
thankfully.
spit or bite us. That's fine. She's got mono. We're in the clear.
Now I know how I got it.
That's right.
This mono bitch sent her bees out.
Got mono bees going on all
Mono
over the place.
One of them
They got
delivered
you.
it to me.
They
Oh,
got you. Yep.
we got you.
We got you.
Jonathan
That's
Frakes.
right. He's just waiting to do a mono bees now. Well,
Oh.
she and Rory S. Woods, 55, pleaded not guilty at her arraignment on October 12th.
She pleaded not guilty. The photo of her being arrested is her in a beekeeper's helmet.
She might as well have been dressed up as the hamburger tonight, and she robbed the McDonald's. I've never been near a bee, Your Honor. Bitch,
Bee, what's that?
bitch, you're still in that suit. Well, she and other protesters maintained that they were trying to prevent a wrongful eviction. The homeowner, Alton King, brought evidence of bankruptcy to stay the court the next
Why
day.
would you want to stay in a house that has now had bees unleashed upon it? You basically
I don't
done the work.
I don't
for
know
them.
if she did this outside, like she had attacked bees or something like that.
Sick 'em.
Sick of go. It's like shooting like bows and arrows with little pieces of honey all over it. Whatever. Well, let's see here. The Woods' lawyer did not immediately respond to a voicemail left on Wednesday.
I love this officer here on her on her right.
Yeah.
He's like this guy over here on the right side of the picture. He's like, "Did you get stone choke?" And
Yeah.
Chuck's like, "Nope, I got my lucky 4-leaf clover right here on my jacket."
It distracts the bees. They go for the clover.
They think they're gonna pollinate my tits.
Not
but
a,
really,
not a chance.
that gives me the chance to pull out my gun.
That's my wife's job. Woods, who puts on a beekeeper suit to protect herself, was eventually handcuffed, but not before several more sheriff's department employees were stung, including 3 who were allergic to bees.
That is some
So
fucked
kind of
up
work.
shit.
But when Woods was told that several of the officers were allergic, she said, "Oh, you're allergic? Good." That's what she said. So Hampton County Sheriff Nick.
Talk about unfitness to be a
Yeah,
beekeeper.
yeah, right.
I'm not sure if there's a metric for that, but I think
Malice.
we found it.
Yeah.
here.
Malicious beekeepers, they're everywhere. Well, so Hampton County Sheriff Nick Kochi said Woods could have faced more serious charges if anything worse had happened. We had one staff member go to the hospital, and luckily he was all right. So there you go.
Damn, man.
Sometimes, yeah. Here's
Dangerous shit.
another image. This is great because it looks like the one officer's like stop resisting. He's got that face on, and they're like holding each other, like trying to push it all in there, get it all in there. So yeah,
Oh my God.
we had a court order that we had been presented to us, and it was our job to effectuate the order. It was Miss Woods' arrival with her vehicle and her trailer that really caused things to go haywire.
So this lady rolled up, and I'm gathering from these pictures in the story here. She rolled up with a trailer full of boxes of bees.
Right.
Which it appears that these two looks like she's. This guy looks like here. This is Lucky Charms over here. by the way.
Yep.
The same guy. He looks like he's fighting like heaven and hell all at once.
It's like he's
to get
wrestling
this thing
someone,
on. Yeah, to get this box lid back on. Like she is grabbing him under the armpit
Right.
and using all of her like whatever little strength she has as a frail old woman with break apart glasses
Right.
sitting around her neck. She's just like pulling with all of her might. I'll get you. I'll help you, Lucky Charms. We can do it.
That's right.
We can do it.
We're gonna stop these
The fate of
bees.
this town is in your hands.
That's it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Well, here we go, folks, for our last story. All I can say is get ready. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Humans have evolved to withstand a lot of things, but car crashes are not one of them. Okay? That's the
I love the
preface.
start of the story already.
It's going to get great. It's going to get weird. I'm so glad I found this because everything else was shit today. Several years back, a contemporary artist from Australia talked with biologists and physicists to decided to create a mock-up of how people would look if they had developed traits to ensure they could survive a full-on collision.
What in the fuck?
All right.
Why is
Get
this
ready.
even okay? This seems like some very superfluous science happening here. Go ahead.
It's all theoretical, of course.
You're right.
But maybe. And it hasn't grown any less unsettling over time. The pictures are still pure nightmare fuel.
Oh man, I can't wait.
You ready?
I feel like this is gonna look like what a lot of football players look like.
You're on the right track.
Like this is all just gonna be Tom Brady and friggin' who else? Brett Favre or whatever.
Oh, you know it. John Madden's he's pushing
guy
the lid
who
off
can
of
survive
his
a fuck Here's a guy that doesn't need a seatbelt.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm so ready.
Here
Let's
we
do
go.
it. Oh my god! Oh my god!
So, Patricia Pancini developed the sculpture alongside a leading trauma surgeon and a car crash investigator. Okay. The project was commissioned.
We're glimpsing into a future where stoplights are completely ignored, that cars are made to be much faster and much more dangerous.
It's
The
go-kart
greed
world.
of car companies has
Yeah.
reached an abhorrent point at which they no longer even put seats in cars
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. I have way more pictures, by the way, too. This is not the last one.
This
Yeah.
guy- I can't even begin to describe what I see in this photograph.
Well,
This guy looks like the guy who is waiting in line in front of your Walmart.
this is what looks like when a marine biologist falls asleep next to the manatee tank, and the manatee is extremely engorged.
Right.
So
the manatee's doing home
yeah,
inspection
yeah.
at your elbow.
Oh my God. Well, the project was commissioned by the Transportation Accident Commission as part of their Toward Zero road safety campaign. Brilliant title as well.
Toward Zero.
We're not, listen, we're not
We just
shooting
wanna go
too high.
towards it.
We know we're not going to eliminate this, but let's move in that direction, okay? Let's move in the direction of having this happen less.
That's called setting realistic goals, and I gotta give him credit for that. I appreciate it.
Listen, you shoot for the stars and you'll land somewhere out there. But let me tell you what, if you shoot into the ground, you hit that bitch every time, okay?
You're gonna land right in it.
Right in
You
there.
just want to approach it.
That's all we got to do. Just get close. Not only does he serve to point out the importance of road safety, Graham, as he was delightfully named, was designed to be interactive too.
Oh my god.
So when he was exhibited at the State Library of Victoria back in 2016, Google Tango was used to let visitors look beneath Graham's skin and understand why he looks the way he does. And of course, he can always be a bouncer if it doesn't work out for him. So-
I think he can sub in for the monkeys at the zoo.
You really can. He's got that Gibbon face going on.
Oh my god.
Well, though it might not look too pretty, he'd be able to escape a car crash without any major life-threatening injuries. As you'll see, Graham has a flat face to protect his nose from breaking, while the fatty tissue around his face is designed to absorb the energy of the impact. Okay. So that's the I guess the reason for his concave face. But
Is this a preview of what we're all going to look like when
I
traffic
think
laws
it's
inevitably
really-
break down? when speed limit signs have just been pirated and taken away for so long on so many highways.
Speed limits are for the liberals, okay? They stole all
Activists
the.
are going in and they're mixing up red and green lights on random streets. There's so
Turning
much
them upside
carnage.
down.
We're all going to look like those fish on the side of the road from that tractor trailer that crashed. We're all going to be flopping guts.
Flopping and run over by 6
Heads
o'clock.
missing. Everybody's going to start to evolve to look like Graham here.
It's just going to get worse. Well, the supersized dome might make hat shopping quite tricky. Now, I certainly understand that, but it would keep your brain nice and protected during the crash. Okay, so that's it. So, but one of the biggest problems.
Oh my God! It got worse.
It got worse.
When
Yes.
I was only looking at just from like the tit up.
Yeah, or so you thought.
Oh no!
You didn't even take into question which set you.
Oh
But
God!
one of the biggest problems caused by car accidents is related to the neck.
Yeah.
And as this is often,
I noticed he doesn't have one.
It is often thrust forward and then backwards in quick succession. That can result in spinal injuries and cause it to break. With this in mind, the team concluded the most reasonable adaptation would be to get rid of the neck altogether. Problem solved.
I just really want to make what I think is probably the most grotesque observation here. And it's, why did they give him weird amounts of body hair? That I think is the most disturbing part of it all.
It's to absorb all the blood. Because you're still going to bleed, but you won't die.
He literally chose to have a hairstyle.
Yeah.
He's got a goatee.
Right.
Some like looks like he's got a little bit of sideburn action happening in his non-existent ears.
Yeah.
He also has like a buzz cut shaped head.
Kind of looks like Harvey Weinstein a little bit.
He looks a lot bit like Harvey Weinstein, and I'm sure that's what he looks like with the shirt off as well.
Yeah, right.
I'm really uncomfortable by the kind of hair that's portrayed on him.
Well,
and I'm talking the body hair.
Yes.
He's got hair on his nipples. He's got his armpit hair. He's got the happy trail going from God only knows. I don't want to know what's under those shorts.
It's a terror trail, man.
It's a terror trail. That's true. And I'm not using that Google function to
Right.
look underneath. I don't want to know what's.
Well, I'm
underneath.
sorry about the next photo here, but so
Oh my God! Please explain what this is.
Well, we're about to get to that. So
this looks like it's in Hellraiser.
It does. So what about those extra nipples? Don't pretend like you weren't wondering. They might look like decoration, but these are actually designed to act as mini airbags to enhance the rib cage as a protector of internal organs.
Do they puff up or something?
They do. But the team didn't just stop with car crashes. The bottom half of Graham was made to withstand pedestrian accidents too.
Okay.
So there's his
Oh my God!
Like-
His feet are shaped like a horse.
So there's not much protection for a
He looks
person.
like he's halfway through the transformation into a werewolf.
It's like Tobias from Animorphs. He gets stuck halfway. It's the middle face on the front cover.
This isn't original at all. I've seen this when
It's
I
all
was
been done before, Coolio. This is the Coolio of crash test dummies.
At least this guy doesn't have parents to be disappointed in him.
Oh my
But
God.
unfortunately, he also doesn't have a family to listen to our show.
That's
So
true. That's true. Yeah.
That's one of the shames of
That's
this
it.
whole operation.
Ups and downs, as they say. So
Oh, there's a lot of those considering the shape of those feet. What the fuck is going on here?
So, since there's not much protection for a person standing on their own, the hoof-like legs and feet could theoretically develop so that Graham could quite literally leap away from any danger on the road.
They built him like a rabbit.
Like a kangaroo or a werewolf. Well,
Oh.
meanwhile,
Oh,
his
God.
knee can bend in all directions for extra mobility.
Oh my God,
So-
that's not much of a knee. At
There
that
you go.
point,
Right, exactly right. Yeah, it's
You
just,
can't
it's
even
just a
have
strange joint.
You can't even have a kneecap if it goes both ways, unless
No,
you have
no.
some kind of a musculature
That pulls it around.
that spins it. Yeah,
Yeah.
flips it.
Yeah, it's got to oscillate like a
Do you-
fan.
Could you imagine that, man? When you have you almost have like a rotator cuff in your knee, almost. Like,
Yeah, well, No, it's a fun experiment. The serious message behind it is to teach people about the human vulnerability and road safety awareness. So beyond the creepy imagery, here's hoping that everyone takes the message on board and remembers to drive safely.
I'm pretty sure.
Or else.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh God. As if like this is being like flaunted. This hellish nightmare is being flaunted in your face.
I just want to note for people who are not watching right now, Matt keeps just glancing over this and looking away.
There was a point I had my hand up so I wouldn't have to see my peripheral vision. So particularly the picture with all the airbag tits that were going all lining his ribcage.
It looks like he got stung by a bunch of bees. Like he was one of the arresting officers there.
He looks like an alien experiment.
He does.
Like, this looks like what aliens are trying to basically evolve us into,
Right.
so that we could be their crash test dummies.
I guess so.
Oh my God! But somehow that has come out in favor of just showing people the horrific blender dissected chunks of people who were in car accidents.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
it's just
don't show me Graham. Just show me the horror of the reality.
Just show me some.
Don't try to confuse my brain and show me things that aren't
Don't
real.
make me new nightmares. Just show me the ones that already exist.
Just replay the old one, please.
At least I'm familiar. Yeah. But that's, sometimes we have to just coexist.
We're all making new nightmares. This is
every
the point of our show.
Every day is a new nightmare.
Every day is a new nightmare.
Yep, that's how it goes. And sometimes we just have to figure out how in the fuck we can keep from being Graham. Run as fast as you can.
Don't run. Walk
That's right.
slowly.
Walk slowly.
And stay out of cars.
Stay out of the car. Stay out of the turbo.
And if you're gonna wear protective gear, a helmet maybe.
How about that for instead of turning your body into an airbag?
Yeah,
that would be nice.
Because that's still not going to stop from road rash.
Right.
And you can definitely bleed out from having too much loss of skin.
And how much does he inflate? Does he just turn into like one of those giant Zorbs and he just kind of rolls away? We don't know what the fuck is going on here.
What is his intentions? What is it? Where is he geared towards?
What do you want to do with my daughter, sir? And we'll see you next time on another episode of Kickstart with Matt. And that's it, folks.
I'd like to court her, please. With your permission. I would like to make her part of this tit
Just
family.
make sure you cover up all your nipples while you're on the date, all right, son?
Make yourself decent, you friggin' kangaroo wolf having werewolf nightmare.
Well, and so for our final thing, I want to announce we have officially put out Nightmare After Christmas 8 is coming around. We're going to be at Skid Row Garage, the new Skid Row Garage, which is an actual venue.
The official, new Skid
which
Row.
is here in York. That's going to be January 28th at 6 o'clock. The usual 5 bands, $3. Prince Diamond will be headlining. Spellbook will be there. Sabbath Warlock, Break City Drowners, Wrath of Typhon. So it's going to be a great time as usual. And for the first time ever, it's going to be an all ages show. So everybody can show up and have a great time.
Bring your kids, bring your family,
hide your kids, hide your wife.
And in the Skid Row Garage.
In the Skid Row
January
Garage on January 28th.
Because outside will be full of people like Graham.
That's right. Graham, and they're going to be wandering the streets.
Home inspectors.
Wandering the streets.
Wandering.
That's right. One way or the other, you're going to be Elmo.
No.
Oh,